All right, welcome to JCCR Racing, where we are racing this green and white 911. Now, the 911 is a fantastic car, but it's a hard car to drive. We've been looking for the best car to drive, and I'd say this is not the best car for a beginner driver unless you spend a lot of time getting used to it. It will sometimes surprise you, and you'll lose control. But if you can keep it under control, the handling and the speed are absolutely incredible. And yes, if you're not in the right gear, it will really penalize you. It's very fast at the high RPM band. So you really got to know the track and you really got to know the car. Because especially a place like there, if you get the back tires off the yellow hump, and when you're coming back on them, if you're too hard on the throttle, the back end will throw itself out and go where the nose should be. The back end and the bonnet, they're gonna switch places. But when you've mastered the 911, that 130.9 lap time for me is quite quick, and I got it in the 911, and I just can't duplicate it in any other car. So I am most definitely the fastest in the 911, but it's a first or last car. Like I've said before, you're either gonna come in first or you're gonna come in last because you spin out and lose control. But hey, if you lose control, at least you're doing it in ultimate style. So you're watching JCCR Racing. Before we get started with the official online race at the Red Bull Ring and try to fight for pole position, I can promise you there will be epic battles back and forth. We're going to cover turn by turn tips and how to race the track, how to race the circuit to get faster and faster. And while we're starting from absolute beginner and we're trying to go from zero to hero, so follow along, join the JCCR Racing crew. If you're in the first 1,000 subscribers, you're part of that original crew, and I'd love it if you could just drop a comment so we get to know each other. Now, we're starting in fourth position, it looks like, and we've got two 911s ahead of us, a popular car for this track, and of course the Genesis, always very popular. It's just no matter how great it is, I can't get myself to race it. I love that GTR Nismo GT3. I love the 458 Italia, and I actually find the Ferrari 458 Italia easier to drive than the 911. So is the 911 the best car, and will it dominate online? Yes, if you've gotten used to it. Just like in the real world, it's got its own particular style of driving that is required to keep it on the track. Now, if you drive it the way it wants to be driven, meaning you don't let go of the gas, you don't pop the accelerator while you're turning in, that's often going to lead to the back end swinging out and going where the front end should be, and that's not a-okay. That's bad news bears, folks. So we're about to get started, and before we do that, please hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to not miss out on any adrenaline-packed action. It's going to be intense racing. We're used to starting at the bottom of the pack and finishing in the middle or towards the top. We did have our best race ever in the World Series Red Bull under extreme weather, rain, and we did finish first. So we got our 8 points. Now, we didn't farm the track all day long and do all whatever it is, 6 to 8 races and get the maximum points. But I want to show that a beginner with simple tips that you can use will get you wins. So there, I had the gas down, and what I did, oh darn, what was that? Gee whiz. Had the gas down, had the brake down, sorry, and then just the gas all the way down with the brake all the way down and release the brake. So we will be going from last, and let's see if we can go from last to first. We got punted rather rudely, but I still believe that smart, safe racing can get us up. But the car is damaged all over. The tires aren't happy. The car was flashing at the bottom of the left, so I don't know if it's still drivable or not. Let's find out. Still turns. Still turns. That's good. So we're now 13.5 seconds behind. That'll be very tough to to get in first, but any race where you finish in a higher position than where you started is a win, folks. You need to take that as a win. Take it as a win. Let the brain give you that little dopamine, feel good feeling. Don't be so hard on yourself when we're beginners. And even when you're not a beginner, intermediate, even when you're a pro, things are gonna happen that are outside of your control. All we can control is how we react and what's our attitude to those situations. But you're gonna see safe, smart driving is gonna win us positions. We're gonna move up the grid here. So here at the 50, a quick little bit of braking, get into the right gear, throttle it down. Now, oddly, if you've got the right line, the 911 likes to have a little throttle going through the bendy. It's when you pop, let go quickly of that throttle, absolute outside. It's when you let go of that throttle where the danger really starts, because that's where the rear end's going to want to swing out and take the place of the front end. Now you need to rev out the 911, just like the Porsche 911, the McLaren, and the NSX. All cars you need to rev out, and what I mean by rev out is bring it up, let it flash blue for a while, then shift. If you're driving automatic, you might say, I don't need to know that. Pro tip, not my pro tip, but Rory Alexander's pro tip, and he is one heck of a pro. Very entertaining and very wise. Says you gotta run the manual, and the reason for that is because engine braking. So here you can see on the 50, I can downshift, and even here I can help slow my speed down if I go in too quick by downshifting. Because when you're in a bendy, if you try hitting the brakes when the steering wheel is turned at a certain point, it's just going to be disastrous. But you can pretty much always downshift, just not down into, let's say, first, but if you can do a reasonable downshift and just cut a bit of time off. Ooh, sliding is not making us faster, but we kept the car under control, and that's what counts. Now let's try to get some fast laps in, because we were way off our top lap here. Far outside, come through here on second gear, and we can take the right line. If you go in too quick, you're either going to slide through or not get the right line, and if you don't have the right line, you're not back on the accelerator nearly as early. Here we're going to brake hard on the 100, use that engine braking to our advantage. And first, there's a lot to first on the 911, so you actually use first. Some cars I take off in second there to avoid rear wheel spin. Not the 911. So slowly get into the accelerator, and as the steering wheel straightens out, go deeper into the accelerator pedal. Here you just got to give her, even though adding the accelerator when you're still looking at the grass makes you think you're going to go into the field. You won't, you just gotta trust the process. So from one candy cane to the other. Oh darn, forgot about that penalty. So let's not get the penalty this time. Let's just go wide. And if you downshift the 911 too much, it will start to spin and slide. It'll slide, sorry, not spin. So still climbing positions. We got a long ways to go, but we can make it happen. Now drop a comment, do you prefer full screen, all cars, or do you actually like it when you can watch your driver in the real world with his race setup? So those would be my lives. So if you prefer that setup, you prefer the live setup, and if you prefer this full screen, well, those are my not lives. My pre-recorded, unedited, so you see all the real action, all the mistakes, all the corrections, and when I make a mistake, I will say why it happened, what I needed to do differently. So here I just need to stay out of trouble. This guy's real early braking. Happy they ghosted him. Sorry, the plumber. We're in each other's way, and I need to be more patient and give you the right of way. You're ahead of me. I have to pass when it's safe to do so. So just safe driving, not fighting, not crashing into other cars, and we're just climbing back the ranks. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now you gotta rev out the 911. We can drive it wide, just the last thing. A lot of cars can handle it, but don't quickly let go of the accelerator while the steering wheel's turned. There we go, here we go. Letting go quickly of the brake when the steering wheel is turned as well for any car can also be a recipe for sliding, but I find especially in the 911. So it's challenging to drive, but it's rewarding. See there, it's danger zone when those back tires are on an elevation change. You got to worry about spinning, and you also have to worry just about weight transfer. All the weight's on the back. So we've now gone from, we were in 16th at the beginning of the race, we're now in 8th. We've cut half the pack through safe, smart driving, and we might as well go pit now to be able to drive the last laps hard. Make sure we don't get gravel in the tires, that'll just make things tougher. If you don't, the Red Bull Ring, if you don't pit in this weekly online race, you will have a minute penalty, so make sure you do pit. Lots of downforce with the 911, and you can often accelerate pretty hard coming out of a turn. Get in there quick, swap the tires, no fuel needed. Wonder if I run the damage that's on the vehicle for the whole race or not. We're slowly, we're catching up. 16th to 8th through fast, smart driving. Still have the damage on the car. Gotta watch out for that white line. It will penalize you 3.5 seconds if you cross it, and even if you touch it, we've been penalized before. So we have the radar on to the right to see what's going on around us. Now, if you want an easier car to drive the 911, because it takes some getting used to. It's smoking fast, it's gorgeous, it sounds great, but it is a tough cookie to learn. If you want something easier, go with a little easier, the 458 Italia. A lot easier, the Nissan GTR if you like the front engine rear wheel drive. The NSX and the McLaren, all great choices for a nice easy drive. But you can see that was a lot of steering wheel turn and a lot of acceleration, and that's where the 911, I feel, really shines. The 458 has this nose pop that I actually really love once you get the hang of it. But it's a little twitchy. It's also very fast. So we're in 11th, and we are gonna climb the positions here. I've got faith in this 911, and I've got faith in the handful of basic, maybe two handful of basic tips that will get you, even if you're a slow driver, it'll get you to climb positions, do well, and really enjoy online racing. It'll make you a better racer or driver in real life as well. If you're watching JCCR Racing, please hit that like button, help us out. Gotta find a smart, safe time to pass, and drop a comment. And here's our smart, safe time to pass. Beautiful Supra, my friend. Please don't beat me up here. Oh, you're going a little wee bit slow, my friend. A wee bit slow. Okay, 911 time to shine. Levo Campos, my friend. I need a moment to pass here. Yeah, here we go, here we go. Here we go. Oops, sorry. Ah, shucks. Ah, sorry, man. I am sorry. Yeah, I feel you came in more on me to try to block me, and that was not the time to try to hold your position and block. We're in a turn, and I had just a good amount of speed on you. But I know how frustrating that can be. But usually when someone's really close behind me and I see that they've got more speed, and wow, even if you don't see it, you know they've got more speed. Like here, for example, I'd let someone go past me and not try to block them off with my rear end and force a hit, because I know I took that corner quite wrong. That was a very bad drive line, so I'll let people get ahead instead of throwing myself in front of them, hoping they get a penalty. But we didn't get a penalty because they threw themselves ahead of us. We got the penalty because we kind of drove off the track. We did not keep it within the navigational beacons. So right here, a little quick brake and a downshift. Get inside and full throttle once we're at about the halfway point of the apex. Quick braking here. Use the full track, and taking that corner as we did, I was hoping, yeah, it's starting to close the distance there with what's ahead of us. Last minute braking on the 100, we go wide and we turn in, carry some speed through because we've got the right line. Better to brake early so that you can actually get the right line. If you're going too quick, you won't be able to get the line. You're just gonna kind of plow through and then turn at the very last minute if you keep it on the track. So great job, Lamborghini. You knew I'd taken the corner more quickly, and you just, you didn't come smashing into me. You accepted the minor defeat, and you're still in the race to, come back and spear me into another stratosphere later. Come on, Jean-Key. That was a dirty, and you see when you hit people, they'll retaliate on you later. And that got him in the grass. Richard was like, no, I'm tired of you. I'm going to give you a little hit. But I always say, don't retaliate. Others will see it, think you're the culprit, and come and hit you hard. Stay clean, stay safe, my friends. Oh, we got a lot of speed on him right here, and I really needed to lay off the throttle when normally I'd have been very hard on the throttle through there. So got kind of slowed down by the GTR. Hopefully he's cool. He's not banging on us on the straightaway, which is really appreciated. Go wide here. And we did take that awfully slowly, and he took the pass as he should. But we had the right line, and he is sour because he didn't know how to drive the corner as well. Should have watched the videos, buddy. You'd have gotten the tips, and you know how to take that bendy. So imagine how much worse it would be if we didn't have the safety rating of an S. Now, I would normally have stopped, used the brakes just to avoid a collision, but after he did what he did and him not taking that bendy correctly with the right line, it was on him. He's coming in hot. He wants it bad. So we got to create some distance with some good, smart, safe driving. So at the 50 from the outside, we hit the brakes a wee bit here. A little bit of throttle through the whole turny turn. Quick little braking, that little asphalt opening. Partial throttle, full throttle. Down this, drive it as much, try to make it into a straight as much as possible. Here at the 50, quick braking with engine, turn in, little corrective braking. Now we throttle it. We get the angle here on this, and we're back to throttling it so much early. And he did some last minute braking. He went off track, so he will not be a threat for the rest of our days here. At the 100, carry some speed through here. Easy when you get the right line. So you see I'm hopping across the apexes, but in order to do so, to be able to turn the vehicle, you have to have the right speed. So you can't go in too hot at the 100 from the far outside here to the inside. And we started at the beginning of the week not knowing this track at all. This was a new track to us, and just with a handful of simple tricks, we've really upped our lap times. I think we must have shaved 10 to 15 seconds off those initial qualifying lap times. I think I was at about 141 or 143 at first, at the beginning of the week. And now our best time's a 130.9, which is not world breaking at all. It must be 4.5 seconds off a top world time, but it's great for a beginner driver, because even if you're a beginner, I promise you this is so much more fun than playing an arcade game, because while it's harder to learn and carries more frustration to get to a certain point, once you get there, it is unbelievably rewarding, relaxing, and enjoyable. Even when you almost slide out, but then you feel so much better. And yeah, I've got a smile on my face right now because I didn't slide out, because I took the time to learn the track and learn the car, and that's the best online car. The car that dominates for you is going to be online, is going to be that car that you've learned its pros and cons and match them up with your strengths and weaknesses. So we covered a lot of the strengths and weaknesses of that beautiful 911, but let's talk about my strengths and weaknesses. I'm a last minute braker, and you can't be fast with being, so I need a car with really great brakes, and the 911 is one of those cars. The NSX is one of those cars, the McLaren is one of those cars, and the Ferrari 458 is one of those cars. So those are my favorite cars that help me dominate online, even though I'm tortoise level slow. I dominate with those cars because they have really, really good brakes. And as a last minute breaker, I just got to make sure I'm not too last minute, and I got to make sure I'm not going too fast to make that, to find that line and get that nice line through the corner so that you can go complete outside. Oh, the plumber, very, very nice, the plumber. That was kind of you, thank you.
Ronnie, Jumento_pace, has left the room.
So congratulations to Ronnie. You've got your gold. Bruno Lopez, great job. Beto and Dorp. And my safety rating actually went up. So when I thought I didn't do anything dirty, I think we called that one correctly, and our driver speed went up as well. The 911 is a tough cookie to learn, but once you get the recipe to this car, you're baking chocolate chip cookies, and you're having a great time. They're hot and gooey on the inside, just like this 911 will have you feeling hot and gooey when you drive it, because it is both beautiful and unbelievably fast, but it needs a lot of work. So where's the plumber at? Howdy, plumber. Thank you so much for the kind words. We did have a really a nice back and forth, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So right on, folks. This was a good time. I really enjoyed racing with you all. So let's see what kind of message we can put here. Thanks for the clean race. Let's play again sometime. And that was a lot of fun. I wonder if the plumber knows I came from the back of the pack, from being destroyed on the beginning, but safe racing, smart racing with a handful of tips will win you races. And when you increase your position at the end compared to where you started at the front at the beginning, that's a win. And you got to look at all life's little and big endeavors in the same way. Count them as wins. Count all the little wins. Make realistic goals. Now, if you say, I want to make $1 million this year and don't have a plan to do so, you're probably going to be disappointed. But if you make steps small, achievable daily goals and weekly goals and monthly goals, you can get that task accomplished. You can make the dream happen. I wish you all not just more cars, and not just more cars. I wish you all more cars and more success. I hope these videos are entertaining. I hope these videos
Johnny,
are
Bear underscore
motivating.
pedals for you, has
And
left
I
the
hope
room.
I get to see you in the next video. So don't forget to
Delivery Fan
subscribe.
has left the
That
room.
was our daily race,
Richie
and those were our tips and
MLG4XE
tricks
has left
for
the room.
driving the Red Bull Ring online racing. And these are tips and tricks that work whether you're online or racing against the computer, the AI, to get those credits, to buy those legendary dream cars that you dream of. That's great and very cool as well. And these tips will get you that dinero, the cheddar, the dollars, the greenbacks, and it will also the bucks in Canada, the loons, but it'll also get you some satisfying fun racing online where you'll meet, make some friends, and probably make some nemesises or enemies as well. God bless everybody. Take care. See you next time.